So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live trading room. Like I just mentioned, I tried to get the room up and open real quick to mention to people that I am taking a little scalp this morning in the pound US dollar, getting long it here into the 144.40s. I've already been filled myself. I'm using a 20 pip stop down here at the 144.20s. Just looking for 144.60 to get free, 20 pips risk for 20 pip first target, and this can all be a swing more or less towards the 145.30 to 145.40 area this morning. I know this is choppy off the lows. It's just a kind of one of those post-news micro setups. Let's see where it takes us here going forward. In this little 50 back, again, I saw us kind of breaking out of this micro range this morning with the news, and then a pullback after the news. Let's see what happens, but again, this is a little micro full 50% pullback here for the pound US dollar into the 144.40, 144.34 area, and again, looking for it to potentially be lows of the day, lows post news that can take it a little higher. So those who took it look to get free here on this bounce in this rally. I'm glad we were able to fire that off here in good time. Live trade in the pound in the live trading room. It's one of the only things we've had. If you've noticed, it's been the pound and the euro pound have been some of the the actual trades we've been willing to commit to in this room, and during the actual session. Right, there just haven't been many setups that occur right when the LTR is open, which I hope there are more in the future. It's fun, right? It's fun to trade setups when we're doing it. So we're at plus 10 ticks right now. If you want to be more aggressive and getting free, book a target here. But otherwise, there should be another 10 ticks. I would hope in this market. It's definitely looking like it wants to go. So trade's free. Good job for those that took it as a scalp. Nice scalp. For those that got free, good work getting free. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to take that other half off now and lighten up your position potentially here for the pound US dollar. As we've gotten our 20 tick first targets filled, and wow, that was just a quick trade. All right, so this is a good point now. I don't often trail stops, but it wouldn't be terrible to trail a stop now to break even if you didn't take half off. Let this ride. This can take us up to the 145.20s here in the near term, and even all the way up to the 145.70s. Of course, we're looking to be a seller at a better highs. So this was very much a counter trend trade, but this is what I mean, that you kind of take the first setups that you see happen in a market. All right, so the pound US dollar, the exact same situation as the euro. We wanted to see that full 50 back. It didn't give it to us. It did trade, however, 3 waves up. We talked about that yesterday, how, oh yeah, we can find 3 waves up that this is traded into equal legs, and the resistance zone we held into that 145.20. Right? We also were buyers yesterday. We had a nice little 50% long that went to our target, and that's something I want to look at here today. Let's look at maybe a 30-minute chart here. So that we can see a little bit more of the price action that we actually took in a long yesterday. So the full 50 back that the pound presented us yesterday, let's take a look at what that trade looked like, and a bit of a recap of yesterday's long. That went from, you can see the entry, there was a pullback, a very sharp pullback on the news, right? We had that 50% long that traded, got free, and went to our target. Basically, a 100 pip target was filled, risking 20 pips on that pullback after the news. That also happened to take us up into equal legs. Right? It's the same. It was an equal legs and a target level. And yeah, then the market just sold off. So it was a perfect little long. There was nothing more to the long than what it presented from its entry to target, and then that was it. Longs were happy, right? We got our targets filled. Shorts are happy. They got equal legs up. And now the market breaking down into new lows means that we need to look for the full 50% short at its new level. As it makes new lows, it adjusts the full 50 back, and we get a level to sell into up into the 145.60 area if we get, a larger three-wave swing at some point that heads higher. We have a 50% short we can hop in on. Let's see what happens, but it was a trade in the moment, right? It was good with the news and everything that happened, and maybe that could be the case of what's going to go on with dollar CAD too. Maybe not. Maybe we're dead wrong and dollar CAD's going to be a loser. John, there is no downside target. There's no setup. Oh, you mean from the 45.60s? I'm sorry. Towards the 42.50s. So if we get that larger swing up, looking for the 45.60s to the 42.60s. Otherwise, the downside target from the equal leg setup that traded is actually into the 43.26s. So we could actually have a little bit more downside for the pound today. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. Great question. I was like, wait, we're not in a setup. What do you mean downside target? I don't have a target. But right, for the setups that the market might be in, like the equal legs up, that setup has a downside towards the 43.26s. And then, the larger setup, if it does for whatever reason find a larger rally up into the full 50 back, it's more down towards the 142.50s. Now, that 42.50 target is obviously not really in the market yet, right? Because nobody's actually short from its inflection zone. Does that make sense? So until the inflection zone really happens, it doesn't have that downside target. The equal legs up, however, that 43.20s I mentioned, that is a downside target that there are some shorts in this market that probably are looking for that here today. And hence the reason we're making new lows.